Come to me, my children. Follow the sound of my voice to receive thy blessings. Unburden yourself.
Ow, 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 ow. And welcome to the Church of Last Resort with the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll. The Church of Last Resort, where your prayers are heard, your sins forgiven, and no matter what you believe, you won't believe this shit. And now, the Reverend, the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll.
Good morning, brothers and sisters, or as we say on this blessed day, May 4th it is. Enjoy the day. May the 4th be with you. Morning it is. Great it is also. Brothers and sisters. Okay, enough of that. I have a long way to go and a short time to get there. And that hurts the fuck out of my throat. Yes, indeed. Not like this. This is my real voice. This is not hurt at all. But that, brothers and sisters, include you will. Our members you must. That hurts my voice. That I don't know how Frank Oz did it all those years. I don't know. That maybe what killed Yoda. That voice. So good morning, brothers and sisters, and this includes our new members who may be enjoying us for the first time. Well, because I couldn't do this without you. Well, I could. Matter of fact, I may be doing this without you right now. I don't know. What's the number say? At any rate, good morning, brothers and sisters. This includes our new members who may be enjoying us for the first time, wherever you may be and wherever you want to be, because you may not be where you want to be. There you are. Welcome to the Church of Last Resort. I am the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll, PhD, DDS, ADHD, MCM, LIX. Yes, indeed. Yes, Lord. People have also called me the Racy Rev, the pervert pastor, the Valvo, Vicar of Vice, the sexy shepherd, the missionary, man, the minister of mischief, the wicked witness, the dirty deacon dog, the dirty deacon of doggy style, the frisky fry, the ass man abbot, the booty banging brother, the handsy high priest, Father Fistmas, the wicked I like to watch witness, the holy hold, the divine dominating dominee. I couldn't make it. I make that. It's too many words. The depraved preacher, the minister of making love, the clergy of cunning conversation while eating pussy, and that nasty N-word. Although sometimes that N-word is not so nasty, it depends on what you wash it down with. A little humility goes nice, burping goes better. The point is that I come by many names and by many methods, but I do not come easy. Yes, indeed. Lord have mercy. So let us begin, as always, in the name of George Carlin, Robin Williams, and Richard Pryor. Can I get a fuck yeah? Fuck yeah! Yes, indeed. That's right. I may not be on top of things, but I am top adjacent. Fuck yeah! That's right. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It is time for our opening prayers. If you or someone you know is in need of a prayer by the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll, I'm sorry, I haven't checked that email for a week now, maybe 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since I checked it. And it's not your fault that I didn't check it. It's my fault. Because sometimes I get caught up in doing so many things that I forget about the things that I should be doing when I didn't get caught up on them. And I'm sorry. It happens. Shit happens. So, and that is shit. It's the truth, but it's shit. A bunch of shit, but it's the truth. Sometimes the truth can be a bunch of shit. It's not exclusive. You know, it just happens like that. But my correct email address is drrevjellyrolle@gmail.com. Please remember to spell roll with an E on the end. Otherwise, one of those imposter jelly rolls may wind up with your request, and you do not want those people touching your request. I'm just saying, because I've had them touch my request, and it's icky. It just don't feel right. It just does not feel right. You know what it feels like? It feels like you go to your grandmother's house, and you have to kiss them on the cheek. They have to kiss you on the cheek, and they leave this big slob on the side of your face. That's what it's like when those imposter jelly rolls touch you. That's exactly what it's like. Without the musky smell, without the mothball smell, and without the jar of candy where all the candy has stuck together to one lump. Some of you people don't know what I'm talking about. A lot of you people don't know what I'm talking about. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. I have no idea what I'm talking about. So I guess what I'm trying to say is it's time for our disclaimer. While all prayers are heard, not all prayers are answered when we want them to be. Some loopholes and restrictions may apply definitely for certain. So please bow your heads. But I said, fuck it. I said, bow your head, motherfucker. Don't make me come out. Thank you. I mean, you don't have to bow your head. I'm just feeling super strong today. I had my vitamins. Okay, it's a little, but I'm feeling good. And a couple of edibles. But that was yesterday, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling fine. And if I repeat myself, don't tell me because I don't know I've done it. It'll be a surprise when I watch this back. I'll go, whoa! I didn't know I'd said that 4 times. So unless you are driving your car or your significant other, and if that is the case, just close your eyes and let Jesus do the driving while we pray. Okay, so dear Lord, please bless Sister Ruth Buzzy. Sister Ruth Buzzy was an actress and a comedian who played Gladys Ormsby, Ormphbr, Ormsby, on Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. Now she did a lot of things, but that's what she's known for. You know, she died this past Thursday, and she was 88. That's right, just like the Pope. That's right. We'll probably have to wait for some white smoke to let us know who's replacing her as well. Although she is not easily replaced. Lord have mercy. No, she was one of a kind. Now, according to her family, Ruth Buzzy died peacefully in her sleep at home in Texas. And that's what they're expected to say. Okay. We expect them to say that, right? I mean, who's to say that it didn't happen like that? I'm just saying. The only person who would know are the people who put out the statement that she passed away peacefully in her sleep at home and not like on a drunken bender, and then they dragged her body back home and tucked it into bed after getting the glitter off of her tits. We don't know. We're just assuming because that's what it says. Quote, she was in hospice care for several years with Alzheimer's disease. The statement reads, her family requests donating to Alzheimer's research. That website is not scrolling across the bottom because I'm going to tell you what it is. It's www.alz.org. Okay. So please send money to that, donate to Alzheimer's research in lieu of flowers. Okay. Don't send Lou flowers because he's allergic, especially this time of year. If he's like me, the pollen will just kick his ass and he will not like the flowers. Now, it is important that you do donate to Alzheimer's research, especially since convicted felon, unregistered sex offender, public housing resident Donald Trump has cut federal funding to Alzheimer's research. Because why should he do anything to help himself in a legitimate way? We know the man, I don't know if he has enough brains left to have Alzheimer's because that is a brain disease. But let's face it. I'm sorry. I'm not going to politicize Ruth Buzzy's passing. If it was Ruth Ginsburg, I would do it. But Ruth Buzzy, I'm going to be respectful as possible. Buzzy previously had multiple strokes. Her second husband, Kent Perkins, shared on social media in 2022. Unlike Trump's golf game, we can verify her strokes. His strokes? Okay, I'm sorry. I am not going to politicize this. I'm going to make this about Ruth Buzzy and not about that fucking unregistered sex offender residing in the White House. Okay, that was my last. Gladys Ormsby was Buzzy's most iconic laughing persona. I guess it's like if you do a bunch of personas and the only one people remember is like a Reverend character you do or something. I guess it's like that. Though she portrayed several during her stint on the show. Yes, I feel you. I feel you, Lord. Gladys, understand. I understand. Gladys was known for hitting people with her purse. Yes, she did. Or yes, she was. Buzzy said in a 2016 interview, quote, "So many people ask me, I'm going to quote this. So this is Ruth Buzzy's actual voice. So many people asked me to hit them with my purse. In fact, a few years ago, we were at a Beverly Hills party and in walked Elton John. He immediately made his way over to me and said, 'For God's sakes, Ruth, please hit me with your purse. That's been on my bucket list for years.' And I did." Okay, that last part, I did. It's not in the quotes. That's outside of the quotes because I added that. I don't know if she did or not. I'm assuming she did because she was a really nice lady and she liked hitting people with the purse. It had to come from somewhere, right? I mean, people who do characters, those characters come from someplace, right? You know what I'm saying? Like the Andrew Dice Clay guy, that came from somewhere, right? You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about? Please say you know what I'm talking about. It makes me feel better. I feel warm and fuzzy in here or here. Wow, I'm not going to point. Buzzy studied acting. Buzzy studied acting alongside Dustin Hoffman and Gene Hackman. She starred in the 1976 film Freaky Friday and Sesame Street and was nominated for 5 Emmy Awards. She took home a Golden Globe in 1973. It was just sitting there. She didn't think anybody would notice. So why not take it home? I would do the exact same thing. As a matter of fact, I have 10 basketball trophies that I just took home. I earned 3 of them. The other 7 I took home. And I don't know why I did that. I really did take them home. I don't know what that's for. I misused them. I misquoted the quotes. All right. Now, Buzzy performed on stage as well and was in the original Broadway production of Sweet Charity. I believe she was one of the chorus girls or dancing girls. I don't know. I didn't see I looked for video of that. I want to see what she did in that. Because I loved that musical, Sweet Charity. I knew every single dance step, and matter of fact, and I could do that thing. Whenever it came on TV, I would get into the dance step. I would do the fugue and the boxer and all the other stuff. The Millionaire's Fugue and the boxers. I would do all those dances with the television set, and I probably would still do it today if it came on right now. Actually, I have it on DVD. I'm gonna go dancing a little bit later. Yeah. Uh, and besides, I was a huge fan of Ben Vereen's. I loved Ben Vereen. And matter of fact, I knew every single dance step in Sweet Charity, and I came this close to working with Ben Vereen. This close. I came within a week of working with Ben Vereen. And I didn't. I It was a scheduling conflict. And I really, really, really wanted to work with Ben Vereen, but I really, 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 really had to keep my scheduling conflict. So I was conflicted over that schedule, and to this day, I never got another chance to work with Ben Vereen. And I don't know if I regret it or not. I think I regret it. I'm talking about it, but not in therapy. It's hard to say if I regret something. If you don't talk about it in therapy, is it real? Her other notable characters included Doris Swizzle, Busy Buzzy, Flicker Farkle, now, and Kim Hither. Kim Hither, like Come Hither, but without the porn. Though it was Gladys who continued to endure. Now, the Fickle Farkle, you have to have watched Laughing to know about the Farkles. The Farkles was a family of redheads. The entire family had redhead and freckles. And I think, except for Frank Farkle, I think Frank Farkle, the father, was the only one that didn't have red hair and freckles. But every other child had red hair and freckles. You'd have to look it up. So go ahead, I'll wait. I'm waiting. Go ahead. You're wasting my fucking. Oh, forget it. I'm not going to wait. You're taking too long. Buzzy was also a fixture on the Carol Burnett Show, And Bob Newhart show, hosted the Entertainers. She was on the Steve Allen Comedy Hour and the Dean Martin Roast shows. Now, she was quite off. She was on that. Those she did quite a few of those. As a matter of fact, one of the ones I remember, was they were roasting Muhammad Ali, and she beat the fuck out of him with her purse, knowing that he couldn't hit her back. She just wailed on his ass. I like that one. Her scripted television work included episodes of The Monkees, Emergency, Chips, Days of Our Lives, The Love Boat, Saved by the Bell, and Sesame Street. She also appeared in movies, including the 1976 version of Freaky Friday, The Apple Dumpling Gang Rides Again, and Bad Guys. Yes, indeed. So, rest in peace, Ruth. And can I get one for the road?
Shut that down, let a pro go to work. La la tita tongue. My dear Miss Ormsby, the truth of the matter is I desire to... Miss Ormsby, I desire your hand in marriage.
I accept.
You accept? Uh-oh.
I love that. I love that. he never that was Tyrone. That character, his name is Tyrone, and Tyrone was played by Artie Johnson, and he'd been pursuing Gladys for years. He'd show up on that little park bench and say, "If I told you you had a beautiful body, would you hold it against me?" And then she'd go whackety 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 mo. So she finally said yes. So he's like, oh. Yeah, if you've watched the rest of that clip, which I did, yeah, I'm showing it to you because I want you to Google it. In the name of Ruth Buzzy, I want you to look up that clip. We'll see where Tyrone proposes to Gladys and she accepts. Yeah, it's a good bit. It's a nice bit, and it's reflective of what many people think engagement is like. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And her high. And her high. Okay, and her high. Yes. Oh, well, gotcha. So, dear Lord, please bless Sister Jill Sobule. I'm assuming I pronounced her name right because, to be honest, I don't remember how her name was said. Jill Sobule, the singer-songwriter behind songs like Supermodel and I Kissed a Girl, has died at the age of 66. Oh, damn, a young one. She was young. Shit. I'm scared. Her team announced that the musician had died in a house fire on Woodbury in Minnesota early Thursday morning. Oh, okay, I got nothing to worry about. I'm not dying in a house fire. No, because no. No. Okay. Quote, Jill Sobule was a force of nature and human rights advocate whose music is woven into our culture. Now, a force of nature is exactly how she died. So is that suicide? No, if she's a force of nature and if she died by fire, that sounds like self-harm almost. We need to talk about that. Her manager released the following statement. I was having so much fun working with her. I lost a client and a friend today. I hope her music, memory, and legacy continue to live on and inspire others. And indeed, it did. And did inspire others. Sobel's 1995 single I Kissed a Girl made history as the first openly gay song to reach the top 20 on Billboard's modern rock chart. Now you see it says the first openly gay song to reach the top 20 because there were many openly gay songs going way back. Some of them people didn't know they were openly gay. Others they didn't make the charts, but they did become popular. There's a bunch of them. I can list them right here. Okay, maybe I can't. Some people forget to where it says read list and don't put the list in. Some people fuck up in the middle of the night when they're writing at midnight. Damn it. Okay, so I don't have a list, but you're gonna have to trust me on this. Would I lie to you to your face while it's being recorded? Okay. It also made the number 67 on the Hot 100 charts, okay? Throughout her life, yes indeed, Sobul reflected on the song's significance for the time in which it was released. Quote, and this is Sobul saying this, according to this quote, when I got my record deal and I was sitting in a conference room getting ready to have the first big meeting, they said, quote, we've already had Tracy Chapman and Melissa Etheridge. Thank God we finally have a straight female singer-songwriter. Then she continues, it freaked me out. That's right. Because they didn't know she was lesbian. They didn't know she was gay. And they were like giving her this contract, relieved that they didn't have another gay artist. I think that was so funny. That's why I included it, because it was so funny. They were like going, thank God you're straight. Thank God, you know. And to be honest, I think it was more like a sexual thing, in the sense that they looked at her and said, she's cute. Thank God she's straight. We got a shot. That's what I'm thinking they're thinking. I'm thinking they're thinking that. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking they're thinking. And she said that in 2021. Okay, said this in 2021. When Kissed a Girl came out, I didn't even think it was going to make it onto the record, but it came out and was treated like a novelty. For me, I wanted it out because it was the kind of song I wish I'd heard when I was young. See, so the record people were thinking, she's straight. This is just a funny little song. Let her have it. Well, she's just a little girl. She's just a cute little girl. Let her have the song. What harm can it do? Yeah. Well, rest in peace, Jill. Because of that song, I had the strength to come out as a lesbian. That's right. I love the women. So thank you for that. Can I get a WAP? And now for those of you who aren't familiar with the song, I have this just a snippet so you have an idea what the song is. Okay. Okay, there's a snippet. I'm just fucking with you. There's more.
Yes. Came over and told me about Fred. He's such a hairy behemoth, she said. Dumb as a box of hammers, but he's such a handsome guy. And I opened up and I told her about Larry, and yesterday how he asked me to marry, and I'm not giving him an answer yet. I think I can do better. So we laughed, compared notes. We had a drink, we had a smoke. She took off her overcoat. I kissed a girl. I kissed a girl. She called home to say she'd be late. He said he worried, but now he feels safe. I'm glad you're with your girlfriend. Tell her hi for me.
Okay, I just wanted to get to the part where Fabio is her husband, you know, her fiance, the guy who asked her. That's what I want to get to. I want to get to that part. because a lot of people don't know who Fabio is. And I'm sorry. I'm trying to delete this because I'm not going to use it anymore and I need the space. Nope, that's not it either. Damn it. Okay. So anyway, Fabio was a model back then. As a matter of fact, he was used in a bunch. I mean, a bunch of uh, um, romantic novel covers. You know, he was like on the cover of like every romantic novel, and I just thought it was funny that she was dating him in the video. And also, if you notice, there was the woman living next door. According to the songs, she was married to a big behemoth Harry or big hairy behemoth or something like that. And you see the guy walking into the door, and he's about 5'4". He does not look a big behemoth. He does not look like a big behemoth. That was back when videos didn't have to be accurate. You know, they could fudge a little. Now music videos have to be like totally accurate. According to the historical accuracy of music video archive law in 2020. So she couldn't do that now. She could do that in like 1995 or 96. She couldn't make that video now, not with the same people, because the truth in music video law. Now, finally, please bless the entire behind-the-scenes staff at MindDog TV. They are truly doing their work, helping to spread our word throughout the wordosphere. They could be anywhere today, but they are here wishing they were anywhere today. And that ought to count for something. MindDogTV.com, the place to go to get your stuff, like your at-home asshole test kit. Go to MindDogTV.com to order your at-home asshole test kit. Find out if you're an asshole. Okay, there are 3 types of assholes, and these are all the things that it tests for to find out if you are one. All right, so get your at-home asshole test kit today. They are selling like hotcakes, and by hotcakes or by selling like hotcakes, I mean they come with an order of hash browns. So, the MindDogTV.com/merch, the place to go to get your Church of Satire Last Resort gear, like this stuff here. Okay, I don't know when the last time was I showed you this, but you can get one of these shirts with my face on it and this lion here, because you cannot get this actual picture. You cannot get this. I think there's only one, and it's here. But you can get a picture of the picture on your chest and wear it as a night shirt, a day shirt, an afternoon shirt, an overshirt, an undershirt. There's so many uses for this shirt. There we go. Now, let us have a little bump for the Lord. Amen. That's some rough shit. Talk about hair of the dog. That's what that was. Hair of the dog. And indeed, which is something we need this morning, hair of the dog, because we were hanging out last night. I can tell you a little bit about that a little bit later. But first, let us, in the name of George Carlin, Robin Williams, and Richard Pryor, can I get a fuck? Yeah. Fuck yeah! Yes, indeed. Now it leaks. Uncontrolled leakage. That's the first sign. Of getting old. Uncontrolled leakage. The second sign is that you don't care that you have it. That's right. You get the uncontrolled leakage, you just don't care. That's right. I was hanging out with some friends last night. One of whom was actually a minister I used to work with years and years ago. Reverend, actually the Dr. Reverend, he had to copy off of me. I got to be a doctor, so he got to be a doctor too. It was one of those friendships where we competed all the fucking time. Okay. And the competition did not hurt us. What hurt us was something else, and I'll tell you about that. But this is the Dr. Reverend Raymond Lewis Brown. And like I said, we were ministers together. Actually, before we were ministers together, we were whores together. We didn't whore with each other, but we were each other's wingman. We were each other's wingman. And as a matter of fact, the wife that he has now, I was very interested of his wife, Becca, Rebecca, but we call her Becca because we know her closely. You have to call her Rebecca until she says to you it's okay to call her Becca. You know, when you meet her, you say, "Hello, Dr. Reverend Brown and Mrs. Brown," and then she'll go, "Call me Becca." Then you can call her Becca. But before that, you don't call her that. Okay, I can call her that, but you don't call her that. So myself, I didn't introduce him to Becca. He was already going on a date. He was going on his first date with her. And he wanted to impress her, but he was also scared stiff about being alone with her on a date. I mean, we were like 20, we were about 20 years old at the time. And he was really nervous because he really liked her. He wanted to keep this one. It wasn't like the other girls that he was like screwing and letting go. He was like hoping that they didn't wind up having to make him marry them. This one he wanted to keep, and he just knew it. He knew it from the moment he met her. He goes like, I like this one. I want to keep this one. And he says, "Hey, Jelly, you got to help me out here, man. I don't know. I don't want to screw this up. And I know I can screw it up on a first date." And he says, "And I really want to impress her, but I don't have the kind of money to impress her the way I want to impress her." And so I said, "Raymond," because back then we weren't doctors and reverends. I could just call him Raymond. I said, "Raymond, leave it to me." I said, "Well, this is what we'll do. We'll go on a double date." Now, back then I was dating some young lady named Teresa. And if you know, my wife's name is Amona, not Teresa. So that's a different story. So Teresa and I and Raymond and Becca went on a double date. And so I picked him up in my car because my car was nicer than his car. And because I had a Toyota Starlet. Wasn't a very big car, but it was nice. It was new. It was shiny. And it got 55 miles to the gallon. So they say. I did get 55 miles to the gallon out of it. I was driving from Maine, driving back from Maine, and I was, trying to see if I can get 55 miles to the gallon out of it, and I did. But I kind of cheated. I'm not going to lie. I drafted behind a tractor trailer who was going from Maine to Maryland. Actually, he was going further than Maryland, but I was on 95 right behind him the whole time drafting, and it was saving me fuel. And so I did get 55 miles to the gallon out of that thing that one time. So there was truth in that advertising. Now, so we took my car and we drove up to this very fancy restaurant. You had to have reservations to get in. You're not getting in. It was very fancy for our neighborhood, let's say, for our neighborhood in Columbia, Maryland. It was very, very fancy. And so I go there and I said, reservations for roll party of 4. And they go, we don't have that. We don't have it. Just let me find. And so I said, "You got to be kidding me. This is our first date. You're ruining our first date." And I was, and Raymond's like, "Oh, fuck. Things are going bad already." And so they said they didn't have the reservation. So I went back and I said, "Guys, I'm really sorry. Something got screwed up with the reservation." I said, "But there's a really, really fun place around the corner. We'll go there." And that's where we went to this other place that was not as fancy, but it was really fun and cheaper, a lot cheaper. And that was the plan all along. I never made a reservation. See, I did not make a reservation. And I did not tell Lewis that I did not make the reservation because I did not want him to be part of it. I wanted him to be genuinely surprised and also not to be caught up in the scheme because he was he really wanted to keep this one. And it's important to be honest when you're trying to keep somebody. Don't lie to someone you're trying to keep, okay? Because they're going to find out in the end. And so when I was hanging out with them last night, I was telling about this story, and Becca goes, "Wait a minute, you lied?" I said, "No, actually, I didn't lie. I scripted." Okay, there's a difference between lying and scripting. They do that in reality TV all the time now, but this was back like when I was 20, so it was like 1980, I guess, 1980, 1981, somewhere along there. I had scripted the moment. I didn't lie, except for the fact that I may have lied about the reservation. I don't know if I told them I had a reservation. I remember saying to them that this is the restaurant we're going to. You can't get in without a reservation. I don't think I told them that I made a reservation. Yeah, that would be lying, and I didn't lie. So, but we went to this other place, and then we had so much fun. It was a lot more fun. He didn't have to spend as much money on the food. So he was happy, he was relieved. And because we were in a fun atmosphere, we didn't have to be all hoity-toity, and he didn't have to pretend he knew which fork to use for his salad and which fork to use for this and which knife to use for that. He didn't have to pretend any of that stuff, see? Because he was shooting for the stars. He was shooting for the stars and wanted her to think. And he wanted her to think that she was catching the tail of a comet. You know what I'm saying? And none of that wasn't happening. So I scripted it so that he could have a good time with the woman he did wind up marrying, right? So, but last night I told them for the first time how I had scripted that moment, and my wife Amona became suspicious because she says, "Well, have you scripted me? Have you lied to me? Have you scripted?" Well, yeah, I told her, yeah, I've scripted many moments with her. I didn't lie to her. I scripted them. For example, I'll tell you our second date, not the first date, because we knew each other, and we went on like a date that didn't go bad, didn't go well. It was just a date, and we probably, and we went out separate ways, and I dated other people like Teresa and other people like that. And then later on, much later on, we matured. We'd already been married and divorced, and we, started dating after our divorce. We started dating again, and now back then there were pagers. We had pagers, and so what I did on the date was I told Raymond to page me at 8:35. I said, page me at 8:35. And I said, I'm not going to return your page. I'm not going to respond. Just page me. That's all. And so we were in the middle of dinner, and at 8:35, I get paged. And she goes, "Is that your pager?" And I said, "Yeah." I'm just annoyed. I said, "It's probably just one of my friends want to hang out, and I am where I want to be. I want to be with you. So there's no point in me even checking what they want or anything, because it doesn't matter what it is. I want to be with you." Okay. And that was all true. That was all true. It didn't matter what it was. I wanted to be with her. See, I was set it, but the only way for me to tell her that without being, forward or something, is for it to happen in the moment. So I just scripted the moment so the truth could come out. That's all I did. I didn't lie. I scripted. Okay. And somebody's going like, "Whoa, that's deep. The Reverend has been scripting things." Yes, I script things all the time. I do that with my parishioners. I see them in situations where they're going to wind up hurting themselves, and I want to get them out of it without being overly forward and saying, "Hey, don't be an asshole." You don't want to do that. I script a scenario where they can avoid being an asshole. They didn't really want to be an asshole. I scripted it. Okay, so I'm just putting that out there. Now, before I get to the sermon, that's what I was doing last night. Okay, that's where I was last night. So I just wanted to tell you about that. I had a good time. Ran into an old parishioner, old ally, and also we're not competitors. See, what broke us up? When we got together, we both went to the same school to become ministers, and when we graduated, we had this idea that we should start a church together. So okay, yeah. But we had two different ideas of what a ministry was. He wanted a television ministry, so that he could like rake in all the money that the other ministers were raking in off the television ministries, like the 700 Club. And I didn't want any part of that shit, because then you're focusing on trying to get ratings. You're focusing on all that shit, and you're not focusing on helping people, which is why I became a minister, to help people. So that's when we parted ways. But we didn't become enemies. We just had two different ideas of what a minister was supposed to be. That's it. You know, we still friends to this day. We just don't see eye to eye. You know, he never did anything stupid like vote for Trump or anything like that. We still be friends. We share the same political leanings. We just don't share the same financial leanings. And to this day, he is much, much better off than I am financially. He's raking in money, hand over fist, and it's very popular minister. You probably check him out. Don't Google him, but you can. But before we get to the sermon, I want to remind people that I am brought to you by coffee. I am brought to you by Mind Dog TV, okay? And people and Mind Dog TV does a lot of things, a lot of programs. They have, the paint things and the other things, and the coffee with the dog things. The trauma. Yes, and the coffee with the dog things and stuff like that. And if you are a person of talent like myself, and you want to be on Coffee with the Dog Monday through Fridays, this young lady, Sister Curly Hair So Bright, will tell you how to do that.
Comedians, musicians, songwriters, filmmakers, authors, and podcasters. Coffee with the Dog is booking for the
spring and summer
now. Get free publicity and hone your interview skill in a fun and safe setting. Coffee with the Dog is a live radio, live stream podcast based in New York that airs daily Monday to Friday 9 a.m. to 11 o'clock in syndication on iHeartRadio, as well as video streaming platforms like YouTube, Twitch, Rumble, and many other platforms. Guests usually come on remotely via StreamYard, like Zoom but easier, although occasionally we do in-studio interviews. The morning show focuses mainly on comedians and musicians, and they have interviewed many top names and classic celebrities such as Robert Klein, Mike Binder, Eddie Brill, Doug Stanhope, Steve Byrne, Paul Provenza, Jeff Altman, and many, many others. For booking, go to minddogtv.com/booking.
Thank you, Sister Curly Hair So Bright. Now, I'm going to admit, I did not actually write that script. I took the script in, and I hired Sister Curly Hair So Bright to read it. And the only problem I have is that it says it's a safe environment. Now, while true, no one's ever been physically harmed, as far as I know, I think safe presumes that there's no emotional damage. And sometimes there is emotional damage. That's right. That's right. Baba Chung Pao. Punish me, Daddy. And that can happen on that show. Now, this is what I want to add. That's like a disclaimer. There may be emotional damage, but it is relatively safe. No one has ever been stabbed or gutted or anything during an interview, as far as we know. I've only been, watching it for about a year or two. And that show's been around for like 8,000 episodes or something, or 8,000 interviews. It's a long time. But I will say this, okay? Especially if you're a comedian, okay? If you book yourself on the show and you do not show up, and you do not let people know in advance you're not showing up, like something came up, and you just wait like a day or two, and then we reach out, and they reach out to you, and you go, oh shit, man, I forgot. I had a gig last night, and I was doing drugs, and I overslept. No, fuck that, okay? And fuck you for missing the show, okay? You're a professional. We're there. They're there. Well, I'm saying we, because I'm part of the Mind Dog family. A distant cousin, 3 times removed, and often not invited to events and stuff like that. But that's okay. Family is family. I think Yoda said that. Family you are. Invite you, I will not. So if you're one of those people, and I can't remember names, let's just make up a name. Let's say Mays. Let's say your last name is Mays or Abergast or something like that, and you book yourself on the show and you don't show up. Fuck you, okay? That's all I got to say. Fuck you, okay? We take our time. Somebody else may have wanted that slot, someone who wanted to show up, and guess what? They didn't get that slot because you took the slot and didn't show up, okay? Now, there's a weird you are not helping our careers when you show up. You're a fledgling, you're just a comedian, okay? You're just a fucking comedian. Nobody likes you anyway, all right? If they liked you, you wouldn't be a comedian, and you wouldn't have emotional trauma, and you wouldn't be a comedian if they liked you. So if you come on the show up. Maybe somebody will like you, and you won't have to be a comedian anymore. You could be a doctor or a minister or something. But, if you're one of those people, show the fuck up, okay? They're there to help you get discovered or help you to learn some shit about yourself and about an audience or how to be in an interview, okay? Show the fuck up. If you're not going to show up, don't book, all right? And guess what? Not only from now on, if you're a comedian, and like today's Sunday, if you're a comedian, you were like next Sunday, next Sunday, not this Sunday, May 11th. If you're a comedian and you book yourself on, let's say, a show between the 5th and the 9th, and you don't show up on the 11th, I'm gonna roast your fucking ass. Okay, I'm gonna roast your ass on the 11th. That's right. I will take time out of my busy day and roast your fucking ass because I'm tired. I am so sick and tired of you people wasting my time. I tune in to watch to see what the new talent is like, and you don't show up. I don't have to watch for that. I can just listen. I can listen to them banter all day long. I know what they look like. I don't know what you look like, so I have to watch. I have to stop what I'm going to watch to see what you look like, how you interact with the cameras and the audience. So don't be wasting my fucking time because I will chew you out. So yes, on matter of fact, starting May 11th, I'm just announcing this now because I just thought of it now. I don't even have a name for that segment, but it's like, I think I'm going to call it, I will roast your ass like a coffee bean. Yes, right. Mind dog coffee. I will roast your ass like a coffee with the dog. That's it. Coffee with the dog. I will roast your ass like a coffee bean. That's what we're going to call that episode, I think. I'm going to probably have to find a shorter title. Point is roast and bean, okay? Show up or get roasted. Plain and simple. And I'm not going to roast you in a nice way. Don't think I'm going to book and get free publicity on the Reverend show. It's like not enough people watch to my show for me to give you publicity. But enough people will watch. They see me roast your fucking ass to find out that you're irresponsible, not worth booking comedian. That's right. Am I getting angry? Yes. Did I overrun it? Yes, I did. And I'm sorry because I'm supposed to be doing okay. Today's sermon, I'm sorry. Today's sermon is called Swing Low, Sweet Charity. Okay. And the reason why I brought this up is because it gets on my nerves, okay, that people, okay, are using charities to steal money from people, okay. When people give money to charity, it's usually out of the goodness of their heart. And a lot of people don't have a lot of extra money, but they say, I'm not starving. I'm getting by a little bit. I'm going to donate $5 here or $10 there, okay. I'm going to, my wife Amona and I went to the supermarket yesterday. Okay, we went to the supermarket yesterday, and outside the supermarket, there were some people collecting foods for college students. Okay, not just food, but stuff for groceries and stuff for college students. We're a local college, and these are just things to help them out. Not books, but just stuff. Now, but Amona and I, we're not rich people, but we do okay for ourselves, and we're grateful for what we have. And so I said, matter of fact, I'm thinking we're not going to ignore him. But Amona is a much nicer person than I am. She goes, let's get something she took a list of things that she could buy that the college students could use, and she goes, "We'll do this for them." Much nicer than I was, because I didn't even take the list. I walked right by the bitch. I went, they can afford college. They can afford, I honestly, I don't know what I was thinking. I just don't trust charities. Okay. When someone's asking me for money, I don't like to give shit. I want to research it first. I don't care, even if it's a cause I believe in. Okay. There could be somebody outside my door right now with a can saying, let's help ministers who aren't making enough money to do the work they want to do. And I will look at them and go, I don't know who you are. I don't trust you. I'm not giving you a dime. So, that's just me. I want to research it. But my wife, and Mona, is a much nicer person than I am. And she took the list, and we go through, and she says, okay, look, there's some hygiene stuff that they could use. They're college kids. Let's make sure that they get the fresh breath and the fresh, clean teeth. And that way it also saves them, if they take care of their teeth, it saves them in the future of having like rotting teeth and having to go to the dentist and pay for that stuff and lose time from school maybe. So she's forward thinking. She's like, yes, that's preventive maintenance. Take care of the teeth. So, toothbrushes and toothpaste. Like I said, my wife is much nicer person, much more thoughtful person I am, at least when it comes to charities and stuff like that. And so she goes, I remember when I was in college what it was like. And so, got some hygiene stuff. Because I said to her, I said, well, if that's the case, I said, why don't we just give them Febreze to save them laundry money? They can just spray their clothes and put it back on. Save them some laundry. They don't have to spend all that money in the laundry. And my wife says, only boys will spray their clothes with Febreze and wear it a second day. And I had to correct her. It's not only boys that will spray their clothes and put them on for a second day. It's only boys that will spray their clothes and put them on for a third and fourth day. But I'm sure there's some girls that do that for the second day. Trying to find a bra that they're like, okay, well, I only wore this bra once. Spray it. And there you go. Nice clean bra, and they're linen fresh. Okay. So there are people out there with their charities, and they don't give a fuck. The people who are collecting the charities, a lot of them are just using the charities to make money for themselves. Okay, and I am so sick and tired of that. And the government is supposed to help protect us from those type of things. But the Trump administration, their DOJ, they de-emphasized white collar crime, because that's what they do. They do white collar crime. Okay. Their white collar enforcement, they just got rid of it. Okay. They don't even focus on that. They're focusing on illegal immigration. Why? Because the crimes they commit are white collar crimes, and they don't want anybody looking into them. And stealing from charities and fake charities, that's all white collar crime. It affects blue collar people, but it's a white collar crime. Because there's blue collar people that are going to need the charities, and there's blue collar people that are most likely to donate to charities, because we know what it's like to be in need, and we feel for people like that. The other people, the rich people that give, most of them are doing it for a tax deduction. Okay, they got the law on their side. They help write the laws that says if I put 4 homeless children on my yacht and give them an experience on my yacht that they won't have from being in the inner city, and maybe they can even clean the yacht and learn a skill, I can take off a tax deduction on my yacht. Meanwhile, you got 4 inner city kids being on a yacht working their ass off, and they don't realize that they're being used as a tax deduction. They're thinking, oh, I'm learning how to clean yachts. See? So the article states that Trump's administration is retreating from some types of white-collar enforcement, including cases involving foreign bribery. Check, they do that. Public corruption. Check, they do that. Money laundering. Check, they do that. And crypto markets. Check, they do that. The 4 things they're de-emphasizing are 4 of the things that they are doing the most of. Okay. And it happens every single fucking day. And we know it's corrupt. We just don't have the power to stop it. You know who has the power to stop it? The Justice Department. But do you know who's not stopping it? The Justice Department. You know why? Because it's just them doing that stealing.
They're justifying it. They're stealing. A former Las Vegas City Council member and state lawmaker who was convicted after reportedly using money meant for a statue to honor a slain police officer. Instead, she used the money to get plastic surgery. She has been pardoned by Trump. Okay, yes. Michelle Fiore, a loyal Trump supporter, was scheduled to be sentenced on May 14th after she was convicted in October of 6 counts of wire fraud and 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, and she faced up to 140 years in prison. Okay, I don't know that they was going to give 140 years, for stealing money from people who were trying to donate money to a fallen police officer. Remember how much they love the blue people, the police officers and law enforcement. You remember how much Trump and them say they love them, and she's making money ripping people off so she got plastic surgery. And what is his reward for that? He says, "I will pardon you." Next thing you know, she'll be in the fucking administration. All right. Another thing, just recently, Governor DeSantis' wife, laundered, in April 2025, multiple posts on social media accused Florida Governor Ron DeSantis of misappropriating millions of dollars of state Medicaid funds obtained in a legal settlement. Okay, he got the money legally, he just used it illegally. Okay, him and his wife. They established this thing called the Hope Florida Foundation, and I knew as soon as they announced that thing, I knew they were going to be stealing money from it. I knew, puts his wife in charge of it. I fucking knew then, and I knew it was a bad idea. And sure enough, they stole what, $10 million. $10 million they stole from that fund, and she's running for governor. She was running for governor, Casey. Yeah, look her up. She's a fucking thief. Okay, I don't have to say allegedly because I'm not a journalist. I'm a minister, an angry minister, and I'm tired of people stealing money from the needy so that they can enrich their fucking selves. It annoys the hell out of me. Okay, now I'm not discouraging people from giving. I'm not. If you want to give, do your research. Don't just because somebody says I help fallen veterans and they use the word America or patriot in their title, don't fucking trust them. Okay, go to Better Business Bureau, give.org. Okay, www.give.org. There's a list of charities. They'll let you know how much money they take in and how much money they donate to the actual cause, and how much money is spent on administrative costs, and how many of them are just fucking scams. Okay, just scams. See, and this is not, and he would not DeSantis is not the first Florida politician to steal from Medicaid or Medicare. Okay, Senator Rick Scott, before he was governor, stole. I think it was like he was forced to pay. Well, not his company. He was the CEO of the company. They were forced to pay $1.7 billion in criminal fines, but they settled to pay. They agreed to pay $840 million. Okay, which is what a little bit like half of what they were supposed to pay. So that just, if I steal $1 million from you, and my penalty is that I only have to pay back $500,000. I still profited $500,000, and I don't do any jail time. What's to stop me or discourage me from stealing more money from you? Nothing. These motherfuckers are stealing money from you, and they're giving themselves pats on the back for doing it. Okay? They're not going to protect you or get your money back. So, I'm not saying don't give. I'm saying give smart. Be smart. Be smart when you do it. Just because somebody says, I'm a Republican and I support the troops. I'm a Democrat and I support the Black Lives Matter. I don't give a fuck who it is. I don't care if it's your mama and her charity. Okay, poor people steal too. Rich people steal more, but poor people steal too. So please go to give.org, check out where you want to give your money to. don't just give it willy-nilly. I don't care who endorses it. Even if I endorse it, if I endorse a charity, still check it out. Because I don't know how much money you have to give. I don't have a lot of money to give. And when I give it, I want it to do something, meaningful. I want it to represent me. So to quote that great philosopher, if your view must be smart, you should be. Know where you give money. Know where money goes. Okay? Because it's May 4th. I apologize for my anger and my rage. No, I don't. Fuck that. I don't apologize. But I will end on this. A friend of mine, GD Fenderson, is available to be booked on gigsalad.com. And he's going to be working on a show, 2 shows, but plausible coming up. I'll give you details when as they emerge. So check them out, gigsalad.com/GD Fenderson. All right. I usually play a commercial at this point, but I'm going to just wrap it up here. So on behalf of the Church of Last Resort and the entire Rowe family, my wife, Amona, my kids, Cinnamon and Jelly Jr., our cat, Tootsie, our dog, Stop Dropping, I wish you safe travels, and I hope you will join us next week at 9 a.m. Eastern Orthodox Time on My Dog TV, and everywhere that our word is heard. So, I'm sorry, I didn't get to read that. Don't give to willy-nilly. That's right. Yes, don't give to willy-nilly. Thank you. Because you're right. He won't just lose it. He'll abuse it. So thank you. Now, for those of you who are listening on the Facebook, I'm not watching the Facebook, and I don't know if you said anything. So if you left a comment on the Facebook and I see it later, I will comment later. I thank you all for listening and watching. And whenever you watch, I thank you for watching then. Okay. So let us, in the name of George Collin, Robin Williams, and Richard Pryor, can I get a fuck? Yeah. Fuck yeah. That's right.